CASA volunteers investigate and monitor and make recommendations to the court concerning dependent and neglected children. It's a very important role for both the children and for me as a judge, because I can't make a good decision without good information and monitoring, and that's what CASA does.
Well, for several reasons, and the number one is the well-being of the children. I have a very passionate for children and their health and just their well-being, and the other is seeing the parents that have made some wrong decisions in the past and helping them get their feet back on the ground. So that's been very rewarding.
I had a friend who was a CASA volunteer, and she told me about it. And she and I had raised our sons together, and we had both learned a lot through raising young men, and we thought that we could share something of what we had learned raising our own families.
I became a CASA because I just knew that there were a lot of kids out there who weren't living in the situations that they needed to be living in. And I wanted to make a difference in their lives. When
I saw the CASA ad in the newspaper, I decided to see what it was all about, and it really opened a whole world for me. It made me feel really useful again, and I definitely feel needed.
I found out about it through a United Way campaign where I work. So I just went around to all the booths that are through United Way, and there was a CASA, and I got the brochures, and I looked at it for like a year, maybe 2 years actually, before I said, I need to call these people and see what it's all about.
It was through a United Way agency at my employer, and they had a United Way Day Fair, and so I went to that and was actually looking for them in the first place, because I'd seen some advertisements and seemed to hear more about child abuse, and it was tugging at my heart. So and as soon as I went, that was the first booth I saw. So.
I'm a nurse, I'm an emergency room nurse, and it helped immeasurably with being a CASA, because you learn in nursing you know interviewing techniques and observation techniques, and you use pretty much the same techniques as being a CASA volunteer.
I'm a chemist by degree, but just in the global marketing area. And so, the thing I like about CASA is that you can put a lot of time into it, or you can, work a full-time job, and then also in your spare time is to find time to do CASA.
I had to slow down because I'm taking care of elderly parents now, and you do have that option when you're a CASA volunteer. You can do as few as no cases for a while, or one case, or if you have a lot of time and you're gung-ho at a certain point in your life, you can take on 3 or 4, even more if you have to.
The fact that a judge who has a very important decision to make, and it's affecting a child potentially for his lifetime, that the judge would read so carefully the report of a volunteer and consider the information that we have been able to give him, because we've been there eye to eye with the family.
Oh, the fun is meeting the children, seeing them laugh, seeing them smile. And the biggest excitement I've received just recently over the holidays was a mother that actually was able to get her child back into her custody, and just seeing that bond was just very special.
The most rewarding thing is the really sincere, dedicated people that you meet, the professionals throughout the community, all walks of life, and that have so many resources that we can draw on. We're never alone. I'm so excited and overwhelmed and impressed by the quality of the resources in our community that are there to help us.
All right, actually, that's one of the things that I am very impressed with, because we're all nervous when you start something like CASA, where you're going out and you're interviewing people, and children are depending on you to do the right thing.
It was the most intensive training for a volunteer organization that I've ever been affiliated with. You really get a broad overview, and there's always people to help once you're out doing your own cases. You have a mentor for the first few cases, and there's always someone available to help you. If you need a second pair of eyes to go out on an interview, you can always find somebody to do that very willingly. So there's no problem at all with feeling unprepared. More than you can possibly take care of, yes. There's always an in-service available, some lecture or organization coming. You hear about it through your CASA supervisors and on email. And this minimum is required, and others are optional, and they've been really good, very interesting in-service opportunities. Be a little skeptical when you're interviewing. Check it out, interview other people, triangulate, make sure that what you're writing down in your report is the truth, because you'll get different stories from different people, and there's multiple sides to every story.
Make the time to be available and to give it all that you've got.
I am a voice for the child. I make a difference.
Yo soy CASA.
Become a CASA, make a difference.
Will you be one?
I became one. I am a CASA.
It's only a phone call away.
Be one.
Be the one.